Welcome back, everybody. I thought today we would take a stab at playing an online version of Clue. It's not just any version, it is an adventure escape game. Now, this is based on the latest edition of the Clue game that just came out, and it has a revamped version of all the suspects that we have known and loved. And they brought back Mrs. White. I'll just point that out, that I love that, but I'm not sure how I feel about the rest of the characters and the scenario yet. Now, I am jumping the gun, and this is just my off-the-cuff opinions based on the artwork that I've seen online. I do not have this version of the board game yet, but I will be getting it soon and be doing a review with you. So I am hoping for the best, but I may be dragged kicking and screaming into this new world of Clue. I am a big fan of the classic Clue Country House murder mystery, so I'm going to keep an open mind. But this is going to be more of my review based on my Clue game experience, what I love and hate about each edition, and how this is going to fall into that. It's not, although we are going to be playing through the game, it's not necessarily a game playthrough. So if you have tuned in for that, I probably want to go check out one of the many other videos on that topic. That out of the way, let's go ahead and open up the app and see what it's like. Here from the home screen, you can choose a number of different games to play. We, of course, are going to play Clue, solve the classic murder mystery with your favorite characters from Clue. Who killed Mr. Black, with what weapon, and where in the mansion? Let's go ahead and play it. Of course, every Clue story has to start with a brewing storm. We have the imposing body mansion in the background there. The tall house is very reminiscent of the Clue movie. We have the watery moon and the dead tree to give it that eerie atmosphere. That must be the place up ahead, says Detective Brown. Now, Brown has been a character in many of the Clue mysteries. We have Monsieur Brown, Captain Brown, Inspector Brown. Now we have Detective Brown. He says, the security company said an alarm was tripped, but I don't see a single light on. Maybe the storm knocked out the power. I'll do a quick checkup and make sure everyone has a pulse, then call it a night. All right, the winding road there is very reminiscent of the Clue movie, almost like the same opening credits. And we have the classic Clue logo. The murder of Mr. Black. In the world of Cluedo, the European Clue, he's often Dr. Black. All right, we have a tutorial here. This gentleman seems like a good place to start. Try talking to him. Now, of course, if you know Clue well like I do, that's obviously Professor Plum. Let's go ahead and press him. Hello, is someone there, he says. Detective Brown. Good evening, sir. I'm Detective Brown. Are you the owner of this residence? No, I'm Professor Plum, director of the Department of Antiquities at the university. This is the home of Mr. Bowden Black. All right, so we have the new name of Mr. Body, or Dr. Black, is now Mr. Bowden Black, apparently. And Bowden is often referred to as Body, as I've gathered from some of the other Clue information that's out there. One thing to notice here on this screen, we see Professor Plum has some sort of injury on his hand. It's wrapped there in a bandage. But he looks very young and dapper, very reminiscent of the Professor Plum in the Clue play universe. Detective Brown says, we got a call from a security company that there was an alarm tripped. Is everything all right? He replies, I'm not sure what's going on. I was walking down through the hall, then all of a sudden everything went dark. Yeah, a few of the neighbors seem to have lost power as well, likely from the storm. So what brings you to Mr. Black's home this evening? Well, you see, myself and 5 others were invited to hear a presentation of sorts. A new business venture of Mr. Black's, I guess you could say. How did you arrive? I didn't see any cars in the driveway. Black hired drivers for us all. They dropped us off and promptly returned to town. And where is everyone now? Your guess is as good as mine, probably fumbling around in the dark, much like myself. So there's you, Mr. Black, and 5 other guests here tonight? If you'll excuse me a moment, I just want to make a note of that. All right, it looks like we have a notebook here. Professor Plum's behavior feels a little off. Is something more going on here? Never too early to start taking notes. Alright, so we have the suspect, Professor Plum, an avid collector and professor of rare antiquities and artifacts. During the investigation, evidence is written in this notebook. Whoops, no, I don't want to skip the tutorial. We'll go back. Press this button here. Detective Brown says, well, Mr. Plum, we better get some lights on in here. Mind if I borrow your candlestick and take a look around? It's Professor Plum, and yes, I've been trying to do just that, but I'm certain there's no way to restore the power from this room. Humor me. Candlestick, please. Alright, we have a candlestick. Take a look around for the fuse box. It's probably in this room, alright? We'll swipe the candlestick over here. There appears to be a fuse box. Let's press that. And we have a 4-digit code. Professor Plum says, do you see the panel? Is it the fuse box? The fuse box he couldn't find in the room, apparently. It looks to be, but it's locked. Do you know the code? Unfortunately not. I'm just a guest here. It looks like there's a scrap of paper taped here. I wouldn't be surprised if this has something to do with the code. Maybe we can find the rest of it. Alright. You will need to find the rest of this torn paper first. Let's go back. Take a look around some more to find the paper. Alright. Well, we have a cabinet here. Let's press that and the drawer opens. Aha, a scrap of paper. Pick it up. Okay. Maybe this will match up with the other half you saw earlier. Let's move that candlestick back to the fuse box. Press the fuse box. Select your torn note in the inventory. Place the paper in the fuse box. A perfect fit. Now you just have to figure out what it means. Look, it's a hidden star. Pick it up. Alright, stars can be used for hints. Use the magnifying glass to view the hints. What's the code? Use the reveal hint button if you get stuck. This hint costs 5 stars. Well, I don't want to use a hint, so let's close that. Don't want to skip the tutorial, but I guess I have to, so let's skip the tutorial. Use the magnifying glass if you need a hint. Here are some free stars. Good luck. Alright. Well, I think we can solve this on our own because I already kind of had an inkling when I saw this. So we have a square with a 4 that clearly corresponds to 4 different sides. So let's press in 4. We have a pentagon that's 5 sides. A triangle that's 3. And I guess that's a diamond, so that's 4. And there we go. We've earned another star, it looks like, and opened the fuse box. Let's press that. Instructions. Move each colored spark onto its matching colored fuse. Select a spark, then press the directional arrow to move it. Alright, so we have some sort of puzzle. Select a spark. We have some arrows. I guess we want the yellow to go to the yellow fuse. That was easy. Green goes up, but it went up too far. And it doesn't seem to want to go where we want it to get on the green spot. Let's try purple. Move that there. Alright, we've got purple. Let's move green back over. And it goes in space. I think we just have to use the other sparks to block it so it goes where we want it. And there we go. So honestly, that was pretty easy. Oh, look, we have a dead body on the stairs. Professor Plum, ah! Detective Brown, oh no. Is he... I'll check for a pulse. Alright, let's see. There's Mr. Body. I will press... Alright, he has a key. No pulse. Looks like my night just got a lot longer. But what's this? Redness around the neck. Was he strangled? We may be dealing with a homicide. Alright, the clue book has some note here. Alright, there appears to be a tab now for Mr. Bowden Black, a cold, cunning, and powerful businessman. Found a red rash on Mr. Black's neck, almost looks like a rope burn. Was he strangled to death? Alright, let's take the key from around his neck. And did Professor Plum have something to do with this? I can't seem to press anything else. So let's go back. And Detective Brown, I'm sorry to report that Mr. Black is dead. Are you sure? Oh no, did he fall? How could this happen? I was right here. Yes, you were right here. How long did you say you'd been in here? I believe... Wait, are you accusing me of something, Detective? I'm just asking a question. Well, I'll tell you right now I didn't see a thing, and I don't know anything about anything. I love Professor Plum's expression here. Right, of course. Professor, this candlestick you gave me. Gave you? I think you misunderstood. I acquired that candlestick from my research. Please give it back. It is mine. In due time, as an academic, I'm sure you can appreciate that I'm just following protocol. I'll need to hold on to your candlestick for now. Protocol, right. Fine then, if you must, but please be careful with it. It is an antique. Makes sense since he's an antiques dealer. Professor? Let's go ahead and open up the notebook. It looks like we have a tab here for weapons with the candlestick. I got this from Plum in the hall. Alright, so we can close the drawer there. We can't touch the lights or the plants or the portrait. It looks to me like a homicide. The lower cupboard is locked. Well, fortunately, I guess we have a key from Mr. Body's neck, which opens the cupboard and gives us a map. Detective Brown says, excellent, this appears to be a map of the house. Looks like my only option for now is that room on the left. That would be the dining room. That's where Mr. Black was giving us the presentation on that new business venture of his. Right, you and the 5 others that you mentioned. Perhaps the rest of your party is still there. I think it's best if you stay here. With the body? He won't hurt you. Just avert your eyes. Don't touch anything and don't go anywhere. Got it? Yes, all right, fine. So here we have the game board display. Wonderful. Looks like we've got the 9 rooms, slightly in a different configuration than the typical game board. But from the main entrance hall here, which is now the center of the board, we can go left to what appears to be the dining room. And we have a dining room door. Plum mentioned that all the doors on the first floor locked after the power went out. And it appears the same is true for the doors up here. Alright. That's one thing I don't really like is it appears, I guess we're now on the 2nd floor, or the upper floor. Let's see. The door is locked. Oh, we broke a vase. Oops, I better be careful around here. A lot of expensive stuff. But wait just a minute. What do we have here? Alright. We have an owl emblem. And Mr. Black has quite the art collection. The other plant shifts aside. It looks like there is a panel in the baseboard that opened a panel on the door. And clearly it looks like that owl emblem needs to go here. And I guess we need to look for some sort of code to see what direction these animal heads are facing. And from the door frame, we see there's an owl in the top left, and clockwise he goes owl, wolf, lion, bear. So I guess we need to put those in that order here. We need to go owl, wolf. That's the wolf, right? Okay, let's just keep shifting these around.
Flying the bear goes there. There we go. That was pretty easy. Detective Brown. Ah, there we are. Now let's see what this business presentation was all about. Let's enter the dining room and it's loading. Oh, look, Mrs. White is trying to get out of the window. Need a hand back there? Who are you? Detective Brown, and you are? Chef White? How'd you get in here? I couldn't get the door to budge. I found that every problem has a solution. Now then, what were you doing by that window? Trying to get out of here. I'm not a big fan of being locked in a dark room, especially after hearing a gunshot. A gunshot? That's right. I heard it loud and clear. It sounded like it came from inside the house. Chef White, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but Mr. Black is dead. Are you all right? Anything you'd like to share? I can't say I'm surprised. When I heard the gunshot, I thought the worst. Black tended to run with some sketchy people. Have you met his other guests? Of course, I was here, having worked with Black for the last 5 years, but the others? They're all power mongers, looking out for no one but themselves. Well, Chef White, I need to look over this room and see if I can glean some information as to what may have happened. If you don't mind, could you join Professor Plum downstairs? Sure, anything to get out of this stuffy room. Alright, the clue book has been updated. We have a new suspect tab for Chef White, the creative head chef at Mr. Black's restaurant. Chef White was found in the dining room next to an open window. Claims she heard a gunshot, then everything went dark. Alright, looking around the room. Alright, there's something on the table. And looks like a blueprint for an establishment called Black Hotel and Suites. These description cards must match up with tonight's guest list. If I can find the missing photos, I should be able to piece together a list of murder suspects. Alright, well, we've got Plum, Mustard, and Scarlet's pictures here. And some cards that say, Office Suites. The mayor will approve all of my plans or I'll wipe that cheesy grin off his face. Hotel Lobby. As the most senior member of the team, he'll lend an air of prestige and in exchange keep his. Land acquisition. The professor will help secure our building permit by creating a fake deed. Wouldn't be his first. CEO. I will serve as chief executive officer. All hotel approvals go through me. Boardroom. Her bold, sparkling style will promote us in the papers, or she'll find her reputation tarnished. Law office. The solicitor will fight for us in court. Her light, feathery exterior hides a dark intensity. And restaurant. They will serve as executive chef in the Bowden Black Bistro. Best offer they'll ever get. Okay. This evening's guests, perhaps a few photos are missing. I guess we're going to have to find some photos. Let's go back and click around. Alright, there's a cabinet here with some doors. And we have a picture. And I don't want to reach for those. I can't risk. Whoops, accidentally. I'm clicking on too many things at once. Alright. Now, what do we have here? Handprints and footprints among the soot. Odd. Okay, well, we have our book updated here. Let's see. There is a map section. Looks like the power went out in the mansion, likely caused by the thunderstorm. And found some foot and handprints in the soot of the fireplace. Was someone crawling around in there? Alright, in the fireplace we've got a photo of Mr. Black. Something in the fireplace there. Mrs. White must have set a fire to keep herself warm. Whose handprints and footprints are those? Alright, let's see. Behind the picture here there's a valve that we can turn, and appears to have turned on a fountain on the other side. The water flows endlessly into the fountain. There is a fireplace poker. The things on the mantle, lovely decor, so clean and well kept. Alright, well, let's use the poker on the fireplace. Need to put out those flames first. Okay. Let's use the pitcher to get some water. Use the pitcher on the fireplace. Now we still can't grab it, it's too hot. Let's use the fireplace poker. And we have Mrs. White's photo. Clearly she burned her photo, trying to hide the evidence of her dealings. So let's put the photos on. We have black and white. And I think we are still missing, looks like green and peacock. Alright, let's click around. Looks like the chair moves. There's Mr. Green. Clicking around some more. Underneath the carpet we have peacock. I think that should do it. Let's go ahead and add them to the pad here. Drag each guest's photo to the correct description card. Alright. Well, this should be pretty easy since I know the suspects from everything I've learned about the game so far. Obviously, Black will be the CEO. Miss Scarlet is the bold, sparkling style. She's a gossip columnist. Peacock is the lawyer or solicitor. Chef White obviously will be part of the restaurant. Plum is the professor for land acquisition. Hotel lobby, the most senior member of the team is Mustard, and Green is the mayor. That gives us another star. The full guest list and their assignments. Sounds like Black had his plans laid out before anyone else was even on board. If I had to guess, I'd say Mr. Black was forcing them to help with the hotel, but why? And if they're as powerful as Chef White says, how did he expect them to go along with it? Alright, our book is updated. The rest of the suspects now have pages. We have Miss Scarlet, a sought-after journalist and socialite. Solicitor Peacock, a tenacious and talented lawyer. Colonel Mustard, a proud and strong retired Army colonel. Mayor Green, the upbeat mayor of Shady Grove. And then back we have Mrs. White has been updated. Apparently Mr. Black wanted her to hire her to run the restaurant in the hotel. Plum has been updated about forging the legal documents. And Plum's returned. Professor Plum, is there something I can help you with? Actually, Detective, it's the other way around. I've come to offer my assistance. I found this. I appreciate the help, Professor. Say, did you happen to hear a gunshot earlier this evening? Why, yes, I did, I suppose. I was in such a shock from seeing Mr. Black's dead body that I completely failed to mention it earlier. Chef White said she heard it as well. I'd better jot that down. That key you just gave me, it looks like it might belong to a game room or something. Can you point me in the right direction? Yes, that would be the billiard room. It's straight across the hall. Great. Now, please get back downstairs and try to stay put this time. Looks like the billiard room is over here on the right. Alright, before we join the billiard room, let's see what popped up here in our book. Don't really see anything new. Okay. Let's go to the billiard room. Once again, we're faced with the door, and it is locked. Let's try the key on the door. Would you look at that? Now that I've got the key, there's no keyhole in sight. Alright, well there's a coat here and a dart. Alright, clicking on the pictures, looks like a billiard room. Here we have a dartboard. Let's throw the dart at the dartboard. Opens up a keyhole, it looks like. Whoops. Nice bullseye. I've still got it. Let's use the key now on the keyhole. Let's see if someone's been playing games. Good evening. I'm Detective Brr. I know who you are. I'm Miss Scarlet from the Daily Press. I've covered your cases many times. You're quite the local gumshoe. Well, I do my best. Now, this is the part I always hate. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Mr. Black is dead. Well, yes, but how did you... I heard the gunshot, and I know the other people who are here tonight. I simply put two and two together. And this information, it doesn't bother you? Well, it's not the route I would have taken, but as I said, I know the people I'm with, and I'm not the least bit surprised. So you think someone in your party did this? One thing you've got to know about Black is he knew how to get under people's skin. Some of his dealings could have driven a saint to the brink. I guess someone finally decided to push back. Fascinating. You seem to be an astute judge of character. Most journalists are. Do you have any idea who may be behind this? As I said, it could have been anyone. Everybody's got their secrets. Well, thank you, Miss Scarlet. Please, if you don't mind, join the others in the hall. I'll be back down soon for further questioning. All right, Miss Scarlet, with her red hair and fabulous dress, has disappeared. Let's go ahead and look around the room. There's something under the stool. It looks like a Love Potion number 9 bottle. We have a record player. Used to love listening to records. A locked drawer. Behind the pillow is a record. Let's go ahead and put that on the record player. Some fun music opens the drawer. Looks like we've got some other items here. Let's look at the shelf. Okay, looks like we've got another puzzle. We can't click on the items. Some bottles are missing. Let's add these two that we just found, it looks like, and we can't add the ball to this. There must be another item somewhere. Alright, the billiard table. Oh, whoops, hello. I put the ball on the billiard table. Didn't realize that was still selected, but we've got a few balls missing. So we're looking for balls and another... we can move the chair, but I don't see anything else there. Something's missing from the wall. A beautiful buck. Looks like he's got something stuck in his mouth. Alright, well, how do we get it out? Guess we'll come back to that. Oh, we can move the curtain, and there's another number 2 ball. Something on the counter, but I can't click that. Can't click the light fixtures. Looks like under the chair, this dusty old antler. Looks like it's been sitting under there for a while. Safe to rule it out as a murder weapon, I'd say. But we can use that antler probably on the deer there. Drop the number 4 ball. Was that all the balls that we needed? 4 and the 2. Looks like we still have 1 to go. And where in the world is it? We probably have to finish this puzzle. But we're missing a bottle still, too. Alright. I'm glad I'm in here, not out in the storm. Every good murder mystery needs a storm. A sturdy table. Alright, I don't know what else to click. Oh! The floorboard was hiding the last ball, the number 3. Let's put that on the table. Fill each of the 6 pockets with a pool ball. Select a ball, then press an arrow button to shoot the ball in that direction. Each pocket can only contain 1 ball, and each ball can only be hit once. Okay, well, press the arrow towards the pocket. So this one doesn't have anywhere to go. Oh, but I guess we bounce it off the side rail. Number 1 was easy. Number 6. was not right. I've got to figure out a way to get... Well, I couldn't read all that so fast. So 1 is easy. 2 goes to there. 3 goes in that hole. 4... I think we need to go down. 5. I think we need to... Oh. Right, I think we need to go down. It's gonna... if you follow the lines on the table, it'll show you where it will angle to. So that goes up to that pocket. We need to get to the bottom left corner. So if we follow that line that goes from the middle of the pocket up, it intersects with the upper arrowed line, so we know which way to press it. And we get our next star. Billiard tables opened up to reveal the championship plaque, which goes on the missing spot on the wall, which opens up something that gives us that last bottle we need. Let's go ahead and put that in place. And it is quite an eclectic assortment of bottles. All right. What else do we have here? We have a TV. Monitor's not getting any power. And this convoluted system of cables is what he used for his security cameras. Well, if I figured out the pool table, I'm sure I can get through this too. Alright, so we've got symbols and I don't know what these things are, wire connectors. But looks like some of these symbols we have seen on these bottles. Skull is 14. The hammers, I'm not sure. There's 2 of them. There's an 8-ball, a 3 sun. I can't remember all these. Let's see if we can do them one at a time. All right, we have 14 skull. So we have a skull here. So I guess we move this thing to 14. That was easy. Hopefully it stays while we go back. We have 2 hammers. So we have hammer to 2. We have 8 to, I guess that's just like a ball. I guess is this one to 8. 3 is the sun. The sun to 3. 4 maple leaves. Maple leaves to 4. Pineapple to 12. I don't see a pineapple. Let's come back to that. We have a heart that's a number 9. Heart goes to 9. And I guess this is a peacock. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like feathers on it. And we do have a feather, so that goes to, I assume, 7. So what do we have left? The diamond. Oh, okay. I guess there's a diamond on the front of this pineapple, and that goes to 12. Diamond to 12, and we get our next star. Ah, looks like that restored power to the security monitor above. Let's go ahead and press that. Press the power button. What do we have here? It looks like footage from earlier today. Miss Scarlet and Mr. Black appear to be in a bit of a heated conversation. Looks like Miss Scarlet is reaching into her purse. I may have hit the jackpot here. Whoa, is she about to attack Mr. Black? What? Wait, is that it? What happened? The video just ends there. The storm must have cut the power. And Miss Scarlet returns. Is everything all right in here, Detective? I thought I heard my name. You thought right. I just saw some rather incriminating footage of you and Mr. Black. Is that so? Indeed, I saw you pull a dagger from your purse. May I take a closer look at it? The dagger, you mean? I'm afraid I no longer have it. I had a feeling Black was in danger, so I gave it to him. Really? Seems it wasn't much help. Why don't we go and pay Mr. Black a visit so I can see for myself? And we get another star. Okay, well, it looks like that has concluded the first chapter. Chapter 2 of 3 is next. After questioning 3 of the 6 house guests, Detective Brown seeks out the remaining suspects. It's clear that Mr. Black was murdered, but who did it? What was the murder weapon? Where did it happen?
All right, it looks like that wraps up the first of the 3 chapters, so we're going to save the other 2 for the following videos. Be sure to stay tuned for that, so we can figure out what, if anything, the candlestick and the dagger have to do with Mr. Body's death. But I really enjoyed that game. It was kind of fun to play. The artwork is pretty cute, and I love that this is free, so if you're interested in solving the rest of the mystery by yourself, be sure to go ahead and check that out. Download that. But otherwise, you can play along with me in the next video, and we'll see if we can figure out, again, who done it. Before we go today, though, I did want to say a special thanks to all the patrons who help support the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. If anyone else out there wants to help support the channel, you can check out the link to my Patreon page in the description below. But that will do it for today. So thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time, happy sleuthing.